Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be reviewing the KBEar KS2 in-ear monitor. It's a budget hybrid in-ear monitor and you can actually get this for a bit under $20 if there's a sale or there's a discount or something of the sort. But essentially they're cheap. I mean, in the IEM world these are pretty cheap. At $20 these are decent and they're budget in-ear monitors. So that's roughly about what, 6,000 naira as of the time I got these. So they're pretty affordable, at least for someone who wants to get into the audiophile hobby. That's enough about the price. So the configuration on these, it's a hybrid configuration. So it means you have two types of drivers producing the sound in these in-ear monitors. So you have the balanced Armature driver producing the higher frequency sounds, the treble, while you have the dynamic driver handling the low end that has to do with the bass and lower mid-range and whatnot. So these come with a limited set of accessories in the box. Basically you just have a few pair of ear tips, you have the cable, and then you have the in-ear monitors themselves. So the in-ear monitors are made of plastic, as you can see, with a gloss finish. It's a little translucent. I have the translucent green one, but this also comes in black, and some people might like that more minimalist color, or something simple like that, but I prefer this green one. It has a sort of edgy feel to it that I like, though it isn't too loud. So the cable is a 4-core oxygen-free copper cable, according to KBEar. It's not anything dramatic. It's simple, it's light, it does tangle quite a bit. It tangles quite a lot, and I do find that slightly annoying because I have to untangle the cables quite often. The cable also comes with ear hooks, so these go over your ears sort of, and you have to hook them on and to be able to listen to music with them. It uses a 2-pin connector. And the tips, now again, like I usually advise, I advise people to test different types of tips to see what works best for them, because everyone's ear is different and you might get a very significant change in the sound quality when you change the tips. So the tips on these are not the tips that came with these. I got these from my ChiFi T2 Plus. These are different from the ChiFi T2 that I reviewed before. I'll be doing a review for the T2 Plus later on. But is there anything else? Yeah, I got the configuration with a microphone right here. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah. So it has a microphone, inline microphone that I use for phone calls, because I use this as my daily driver now. I take it everywhere. It's replaced my ChiFi T2. I use my T2 when I'm at home, a bit relaxed and I want something, with very high levels of detail. I just want to focus on the tinier, more, what word can I use? OCD type content in my music. Don't know what that means, but you get the point. So that's that about the in-ear monitors themselves. So onto their sound. These in-ear monitors are what people characterize as or describe as V-shaped sounding. So essentially what that means is it has an emphasis on the bass and an emphasis on the treble. So that gives a sort of V-shaped sound of sorts, because the mids are slightly recessed. But in my ears the mids aren't too recessed here, but I'll get to that in a bit. The bass on these, first off, is really good. They are very present, very strong, and they're not too slow, they're not muddied, they don't sound muffled, and they give a very, very exciting quality to the music you're listening to. If you give these a try, even as a bass head, I think you should be satisfied with the bass response on these, at least at this price point, because these are pretty cheap and the bass you're getting on these is really good for the price. It's excellent for the price. And a thing again I'll mention once more is that the tips you use can make or break the bass on these, so you should really try out different tips of different sizes and textures to see what works best for you. So onto the mids. Like I said, the mids on these are a teeny bit recessed and they're not as forward as maybe some people might prefer, but for my own ears I think these do a good job. I mean, they're average, they're not bad or really horrible, but they're good. They're good enough for most use cases. And the treble on these now is pretty good as well. The treble is elevated. You can hear the details in music clearly. It's not too shrill or harsh sounding, but for people who are treble sensitive, they might find this tiny bit harsh, but only just a little, at least. That's what I think. But they're sufficient. They carry the higher pitch sounds, the micro details a bit, at least to some degree. They are able to convey those sounds pretty well and to do a great job at it. So that's the treble. Now about the sound character on these, the Timbre isn't exactly what you describe as natural. The Timbre on these is not very natural, but it isn't exactly artificial as well. But you can just say, well, it's kind of artificial, but it isn't too artificial that it ruins the musical experience. But it isn't as natural as maybe the Belon PL03 that I will also review later on. So, but these do a great job across board. You can use this on pop, you can use this on hip hop when you're listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, movies, video games, and I'm even going to get to that. Now, the Soundstage on these is spectacular. At this price point, in my view, it's unbeatable. Or I'm yet to come across an in-ear monitor that does the kind of job this does with the Soundstage. You have the sense that you're enveloped in your music. It has this three-dimensional sound around your head. When you're listening to music too, with transitions that move from left to right, that stereo effect, it's really strong, and you can feel the music literally just crawling across your head like it's in a hall. And it's a very enjoyable experience and gives a very nice quality to the music you're listening to. It's immersive. And what this also means is that this is great for gaming. So if you're a gamer, you will enjoy these because they offer a very good three-dimensional image of your environment. So when you're running, you can hear footsteps, you can hear gunshots, exactly where they're coming from and where you need to position yourself within the game. It's also great for movies because if you're listening with movies that have surround sound, or maybe your device has something like a Dolby Atmos or something of the sort, you will experience that three-dimensional sound effect very, very vividly, and it's a really enjoyable experience at this price point. I absolutely recommend, simply because of that Soundstage. It's great. Now when you combine that Soundstage with the very thumping bass, the clear trebles, the good enough mids. You have a great experience all around at a budget price. So I think that's about that with the KBEar KS2. I highly recommend this in-ear monitor. It's fantastic, works great. I think the major cons I would identify with these is that they do feel cheap, they don't feel as durable, the cables tangle. The microphone that comes with this, the inline mic, is okay, but could be better, I feel. But other than that, like, the sound is fantastic. Great bass, great treble, good enough mids, and excellent 9.5 out of 10 Soundstage, at least for me. And I would recommend this to beginner audiophiles and people who are just getting into the hobby. And even for those who are more experienced, if you want something you can, throw around without fear that, oh, my expensive gear is going to get destroyed, I'm taking this to work, and it could get damaged or stolen. This is a great choice, and I recommend. So that'll be that for this review. If you like this video, you can give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And please subscribe to my channel. Share it on all platforms. Share it to your friends and family who you feel may enjoy this video or learn a thing or two from it. So till next time, thank you. This is Lumi's Reviews. Cheers.